Hi, this is Carl Kruger, ISO 9001, Clause 8. The real action is starting in this one. It's focused on how a business delivers quality products and services. The point about the Clause 8 operation clause is this is focusing on what the day-to-day work of an organization is. And oftentimes this is what actually people think the ISO is all about. It is vital. It covers a huge range of focus points, but it is not the only ones, as you've seen. So 8.1 to do with operational planning and control. So we talked about planning to avoid problems, but this is planning and managing operations to prevent the problems from happening in the first place. So the first one was to avoid and predict problems, and this one is now to foresee and prevent problems. Massive difference. Section 8.2 is about understanding customer requirements. If we know what the customer wants, then we can ensure that we build to make or create, if we're talking about a service, what the customer has actually asked for. Clearly, defining what the customer actually wants and needs will prevent costly mistakes, back engineering whatever is necessary later. So by being clear what the customer needs, setting the goals according to that, ensuring those trigger points are met on the way, will result in meeting those customer requirements with the final product. Section 8.3 is about design and development. Sometimes not applicable, depending on what you're doing, but where it is applicable, 8.3, is it's a structured process for designing new products or services to prevent errors and failures being built in to how it is done the first time. Now, this process will go through reiterations as people get more experienced, but the aim initially is to ensure that you use your skills, your experience, and draw on other people's skills and experience to feed into this to ensure that you minimize errors and failures right from the beginning. 8.4 relates to control of external providers. Now, previously we were just talking about using external advisors, but suppliers and contractors are crucial to organizational success. If your suppliers and contractors are not up to the mark, then your product will miss the mark as well. So the suppliers and contractors must meet quality expectations too. These expectations can be built into the contractual arrangements you have with them. They can be built in either to the specific job or to the overarching contract. You may get kickback and they say, well, this is the quality we work to, take it or leave it, in which case you need to look at what they provide and ensure that they meet the requirements you need. If they don't use them, however cheap they are. They're not good enough and they'll spoil your reputation. 8.5 is about production and service provision. This is to do with the way that work must be properly controlled to ensure consistency, so that what is produced on a Monday and on a Tuesday and on a Wednesday and on a Thursday and on a Friday is all equivalent. It may not be identical, but it's equivalent in terms of what it can do. Meet the customer's needs, do so within the quality specs, and in an efficient and effective way so that you can make some profit out of it. Yes, Monday's product might be a wall, Tuesday's product might be a report, Wednesday's product might be planting a tree, but all of those still meet the requirements to meet the efficiency, quality, and controls. 8.6 relates to the release of products and services. So this is when they are dispatched, or just prior, in fact, dispatched to the customer. So the products or services, in terms of reports, for example, should be checked before delivery. Is what was required to be there included? Does it cover all the specifications the customer had set? Is it spelt correctly? Is it legible? Are the pages the right way up? Are there bits missing? There are so many different things, as you can imagine. So check before delivery, ideally by someone else who knows what they're looking at, but didn't actually put it all together so that they get a fresh pair of eyes. Sometimes that's not possible, and you have checklists instead. The next section is 8.7, control of non-conforming outputs. This is a vital one. It sounds very unexciting, but it's actually one of the most important. When there's a defective product or service, i.e. something's been identified to be wrong with it, whether by the organization itself or by the client who sent it back, upset and not happy, the reason, wherever possible, for the problem should be identified and recorded and followed up, managed properly. If it was caused because someone didn't pay attention, then whatever reason it was that they didn't pay attention, which could have been very understandable, they were called away for an emergency, or there was a fire, or someone hit them over the head with a piece of metal accidentally, doesn't matter why. If there was a problem and it wasn't picked up, then changes to the procedure need to be made so that it never happens again. So that if someone else is hit over the head, everything they were working on is then checked over before it's proceeded with. And obviously you look after the person who's been hit over the head. The point about this is that it ensures that any mistake that happens is identified and alterations made to the procedures so that mistake never happens again. That is